Ever wonder what happens when a hero's greatest success turns into their biggest downfall? Buckle up for a turbulent journey. The captain woke up in his hotel room feeling terrible, startled by the ringing phone. His ex-wife was on the other end. He had a headache and his eyes were red from drinking too much vodka shots and beers the night before. He sat up and looked at the empty bottles on his bedside table. He took a sip of the last bit of beer to try and calm his nerves, but his mind cleared as he continued to smoke cigarettes, and he consumed drugs shortly before the flight. The captain discreetly mixed 3 bottles of vodka into the juice, unnoticed by the 100+ passengers on the plane. After disposing of the bottles, he drank the spiked orange juice and handed control of the plane to the co-pilot. The co-pilot was confused, but the chief flight attendant said it wasn't the first time. Luckily, the flight was smooth until an unexpected incident during landing. The plane's elevator failed, causing turbulence that soaked passengers' diapers. The flustered co-pilot contrasted with the calm, recently awakened captain. He told the chief flight attendant to calm passengers and secure their seatbelts, then regained control of the plane. He saw the elevator rebound, making the plane lose control and drop quickly. He urgently instructed the co-pilot to pull up. The co-pilot attempted to pull up and contact the ground, but despite their efforts, they couldn't lift the plane. To slow the descent, the captain released fuel to lighten the plane and told the co-pilot to deploy the speed brakes and landing gear. They hoped to slow the descent, but the plane showed no signs of stopping. In an instant, it pierced through the clouds, revealing a densely populated area below. To prevent casualties, the captain made a bold decision. He gripped the control stick, tilted the plane, and pushed the engines to full power. Unbelievably, the captain intended to fly the plane upside down. With the co-pilot and chief flight attendant's cooperation, the plane managed to stabilize. Suddenly, a boy fell from his seat. A flight attendant rushed to help, but after securing him, she lost her balance and fainted. The crisis continued. With most fuel gone, there was insufficient to return to the airport, and the plane had lost the engine. The captain had to make a quick decision to prepare for an emergency landing, but nearby was a church with a congregation seemingly praying for their lives. As the plane was about to crash into the church, the captain quickly changed the plane's direction, but the wings still clipped the church. Finally, the plane successfully landed on the lawn. Before losing consciousness, the captain vaguely saw himself being rescued, and most passengers were also saved. He released excess fuel, avoiding an explosion. When the captain woke up, he saw the incident on TV. Airline staff said that of 102 on board, 96 landed safely. The 6 casualties were 2 crew and 4 passengers. He had minor injuries and a mild concussion. His bravery on the plane saved lives. The media hailed him as a national hero, but the captain felt uneasy. Although the accident was due to mechanical failure, he believed his drinking was to blame. Had he not drunk, those 6 people might have lived. Upon returning home, he immediately poured out all the alcohol. He chose to stop drinking and begin anew. However, trouble quickly followed. A lawyer revealed that alcohol was detected in his blood at illegal levels for both driving and flying. If the passengers died due to his drinking, he would face life in prison. The captain was shocked and speechless, fearing for his reputation. Earlier in the story, Captain Whitaker sneaks out for a cigarette at the hospital and encounters Nicole, a former photographer, on the stairs. He promises to visit her, and a few days later, he arrives at her apartment, only to find her in trouble with her landlord over an overdue rent of $1,100. He steps in to help her, and as they start living together, they gradually fall in love. Looking at the plane wreckage in the distance, he fell into deep thought. After all, the deaths of 6 people were connected to him. Later, the captain decides to stop by and check on his wife and kids. However, his wife shows little interest in talking to him due to his drinking and prefers that he call first rather than just showing up. When his son, Will Jr., comes downstairs, he asks his father to leave, saying that his presence is upsetting his mom. The airline panicked, fearing that if the captain was guilty, they would face huge compensation claims and potential bankruptcy. The lawyer proposed hiding the captain's drinking and blaming the accident on the plane manufacturer to evade major responsibility. They first needed to dispose of the captain's evidence. The lawyer easily argued that the hospital's equipment was outdated and that preservatives in the blood samples invalidated the test report before the verdict. The captain showed up at Caterina Marquez's funeral. He approached the chief flight attendant seeking for her help to hide his drinking. Later, as he went to the bar, he saw the co-pilot being interviewed on the news. Without wasting time, rushed to the hospital to seek the co-pilot's help in covering up his alcoholism. Despite their reluctance, they agreed due to their friendship and his life-saving actions. They believed the issue was resolved, but the lawyer delivered bad news. The investigation team discovered 2 empty bottles in the wreckage. Due to turbulence, no meals or drinks were served, and only the crew had access. A hearing was scheduled for the captain in a few days. Just as the captain was worried about this, the lawyer brought good news. No evidence linked the bottles to the drinkers, and alcohol was also found in the deceased flight attendant's body. Blaming the flight attendant for drinking would solve the issue. To avoid jail, the captain had to comply. The captain took this matter seriously and didn't drink for several days. If the hearing went well, he could go back to work. But the night before, something unexpected happened. Feeling guilty about the 6 casualties, the captain couldn't sleep all night. He went to the next room, opened the fridge, and found it stocked with alcohol. The captain took a bottle, sniffed it, and thankfully returned it to the fridge. The next day, the room was filled with bottles and the captain was gone. He was found unconscious in the bathroom but was revived in time, avoiding disaster. Charlie and the lawyer made an effort to call his friend to bring him something that will wake him up. The man came with a bag. Suddenly the lawyer tries to take the bag from the guy. He got furious and told him not to touch his staff. Few minutes later the captain was revived. The hearing continued as planned. The investigation team highly respected the captain after viewing his emergency landing video. They had 10 experienced pilots simulate the operation, but none managed to land without crashing. The accident was caused by a unique malfunction. The captain could have avoided responsibility by answering 3 questions. Did you consume any alcohol or other drugs? Have you ever had a problem with alcohol dependency, alcoholism, or drug addiction? He said no. Is it your opinion that Caterina Marquez drank on that flight? The captain paused before answering. He stared at the flight attendant's photo on the screen, his eyes reddening. The flight attendant who died was his mistress. The night before, they drank heavily and used drugs to stay awake for the flight. The hero captain had a chaotic alcoholic behind him. The flight attendant died saving a boy. He couldn't blame her. After hesitation, the captain stated, Trina didn't drink the vodka. Excuse me, Mr. Whitaker, the lady asked. She saved the boy's life, he said. Could you speak louder, Captain Whitaker? Trina Marquez did not drink the vodka. His admission of alcoholism sparked outrage. He was hungover before the hearing. His wife divorced him because of his drinking, and his son became estranged. He had lied about his drinking all his life, and now he couldn't let lies ruin him. The captain received a life sentence, spending his life in prison. He felt relieved, having not betrayed his conscience to avoid suspicion. And that's the gripping story of Flight. A tale of heroism, guilt, and the fight between saving lives and saving yourself. If you enjoyed this recap, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more movie breakdowns. Let me know in the comments, could you trust someone like Whip behind the controls? Until next time, thanks for watching and keep flying high.